Hi, I'm Jason Silver, the dating coach for ambitious women, and I'm here with personal branding expert and founder of the Simply Be agency, Jessica Zweig. And if you've ever wondered what first impressions you give off and how to actually control what guys think of you, then keep watching this episode. So Jessica is incredible. She works with some of the top executives and thought leaders from all around the globe, helping them to build more powerful, meaningful, impactful relationships with their core audience by controlling the perception and the impression that they give off. So I'm so excited to take this information and to actually apply it to dating so you can give off a powerful impression to the high quality guys that you're meeting. So welcome, Jessica. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you so much for having me, Jason. I'm excited to be here. It's an honor.
This is going to be so much fun. So the first thing that I really want to know is, what is a personal brand and why is it important for single women to be aware of it?
Well, a personal brand is your business card. It's the story that you tell to the world. And I always say that personal branding and having a strong personal brand is no longer a nice to have, it's a must have. It's certainly a must have in business, and it's clearly a must have in relationships. And there's a misnomer around personal branding that it's an act of vanity or self-promotion, or you want to be famous and known online, so build a personal brand. And I don't work with people like that, and I'm sure you work with very high quality women as your clients too. And I really equate it to, someone coming to me and saying, well, I just want to be Instagram famous, so make me popular. And you having a woman come to you and being like, I just want to meet a rich guy, right? Like there's got to be something deeper. You have to have a rally cry. You have to have a reason to believe. You have to have a purpose in who you're wanting to impact as a personal brand, and as a woman, a single woman, who you really want to attract at a soul level to build a life that you really, really want. And same thing, building a business that you really, really want. So there's tons and tons of parallels.
So this is so true, and I talk about this all the time, and we're going to get there, but you said something that I thought was really interesting. You said that it's not just a nice to have, it's a must have. What's changed in the world that today, there's social media, right? People can just look online and they can find everything about you before you even meet them in person.
Exactly.
So what's the big difference now, and how do you combat that?
Sure. So I don't know if you're a fan of Gary Vaynerchuk. Who isn't? I follow him and I listen to his podcast, and he said something once recently. It's like, social media isn't social media anymore. Social media is the internet. And if you don't control how you show up, someone else will. Or you'll be forgotten about and you won't get noticed at all. And we all have objectives, whether they're personal or professionally related or spiritually related. And so the internet / social media has become, in my opinion, a beautiful tool to not be afraid of, but to lean into and to be really intentional with. Because you have so many opportunities now on so many different platforms, dating apps included, to talk to people and to share who you are and to connect. And it's actually a really exciting time that I think people don't really realize because they don't know it. They don't understand what it can really do for them, and it's a gift.
And that's the cool thing of what it can really do for them. And you said it best. I always recommend to all of my clients that they Google, that they Facebook search, that they look for people online. And a lot of these guys don't know that you can actually copy and paste their number into the Facebook search bar and find their phone number or find their profile just by looking at their phone number. There's so much you can do to find people. And what you said that was so interesting is you're really always displaying some kind of a message out there.
Definitely.
It's just if you're being strategic or not.
Right.
So I guess my question is, can you really proactively change how people perceive you?
100%. And you can start like now. So obviously photos, they're hugely important. Are your photos current? Are they reflective? Are they flattering? Are they expressive of who you are? No one wants to see like a stale, stock photo kind of vibe. They want to see your personality. They want to see your energy. So investing in some photos, whether it's hiring a professional photographer or grabbing a girlfriend or a guy friend that is a good photographer, you can find so many hungry people on Instagram that just want to build their portfolio who will maybe do it for you for free.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Yeah, there's a whole world out there if you invest in learning about it. So obviously getting photos up and ready. your bios, like little things, the way you describe yourself on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and even Twitter. You get a couple, words and sentences to describe who you are in your bios are really, really important. What I would suggest is, like, right now, Google yourself. You mentioned Googling guys. Google yourself, because guys going to Google you and see what are the first few things that come up, and are those representative of who you really are and what you really want to be and come off as. And if you have any control over changing those things and updating them, then do it. And another great practice would be to run it by a friend or run it by a couple friends, people who know you really closely, who love you, who are like, that's how I would describe you, or that's not how I would describe you. Really, that's why people hire me, because I'm a second opinion, and I, have a team around me and multiple opinions to help create these personal brands. So don't be an island. Really know that you have people in your life that want you to find love, that are going to help you get to that place. So updating your pictures, updating your bio, and if you're, engaging on social media and commenting and creating relationships, know that everyone can see the things that you say. Everyone can see the things that you share, not just in your posts, but on other people's posts. So what's the language you're using? Who's the person online that's showing up? Is she kind? Is she consistent? Is she, funny, witty, all the things that you might be? Be yourself, be authentic online, and you can do that in so many ways.
So it's so interesting. You're talking about all of these different ideas to build a relationship and to show who you are. What do you think is a mistake that a lot of women make when they start learning about this and try to get more intentional in displaying their personal brand to people?
Well, I would think women/people, but maybe women more than men, try to be everything to everyone. They try to be popular. They go for that social clout. I always prefer to be narrow and deep than wide and shallow. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. It doesn't matter, what your reach is in that way. It's really about connecting organically and authentically with your people. I always say your vibe attracts your tribe. What you put out there is who you'll attract, and there will be people who are not for you, who do not get you, who do not like you, and that's awesome. Actually, that's amazing, because those people are not your people. So just be yourself, and those people that resonate will follow you and engage with you and refer you and tell a guy friend about you, right? So knowing that, mistakes I see is just people showing up inauthentic and trying to be someone they're not. It's very, very obvious.
It's so key. I mean, what you're saying is so true. It's not about being sexy and attractive to men. It's being sexy and attractive to the man that you want to connect with, that lifetime partner. And polarizing the rest. You don't want to go on dates with a million guys that aren't a good fit. You want to connect with the one guy that's going to be there with you through thick and thin, the one guy who's going to be your life partner. So that is such a good statement.
And giving off the impression that you are so happy. Not even the impression, but being happy and showing that your life is full and fulfilled. Side note, when I met my husband on our first date, he told me, we had a 6-hour first date. I had been dating a bunch of guys, and we finally, I met this guy, and he told me, he's like, you were so confident in your life. He's like, you seemed so joy-filled and passionate about what you were doing, that I gave off the vibe like I could have a boyfriend or not have a boyfriend. It doesn't really matter, because I'm so good right now. And if you're giving off that, you can give off that experience online, and hopefully you are living that, so you should share that.
I always say to attract a really high value match, you have to be a really high value woman. So it's so true. Yeah. Side note, I do not recommend that people go on a 6-hour first date. And yet,
really organic. I didn't realize what was happening.
But you just proved another point, and I say this all the time, is I've seen every rule followed and it not work, and I've seen every rule broken and it work.
Yeah.
It's really about being the person that you're meant to be, being happy, being fulfilled, being high value.
Yeah. That's how I knew he was the guy, because usually when I was single, I was 45 to an hour cocktail, see ya, no, but he was the guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So this could be overwhelming, right? Someone starts Googling themselves, they're like, wait a second, I don't even know how to take a photo, let alone go through and sift all this information. So let's really break it down. Sure. I really liked what you said about being more polarizing and attracting that one guy. Mm-hmm. Let's give them a few steps that they can do right now to make it really simple to start the process of getting clarity around their personal brand.
Awesome. So before you go off and think about new photos and followers and content, and we take a huge step back and start at the very, very foundation. And we ask our clients, and I would ask your women to ask themselves this and really write this out, make this a personal exercise of what's your value? What are you here to give people? Like, what do you really want people to know you for? What's the legacy that you want to leave? What is your mission? Like, what are you here to experience in life? What is it that you want to impact, right? Whether that's other people around you, your business, your community, your soul, your spiritual path, whatever it might be. What's your mission? And then obviously we always say get clear on who your audience is. Like crystal clear on your audience, because you can't be everything to everyone or you'll be nothing to no one. That's marketing 101. So really asking yourself, who is that guy? And not from a place of like, oh, I want him to drive a nice car and I want him to have a dog and he should be this religion, and how do you want to feel when you're around him? Like, what's his core value and mission? So coming from a really deep place and coming from that place of authentic service. It's not just about me, but I'm here to do something really great on this planet while I'm here. And those are the personal brands that I work with. People who have big, crap to do when they're in this life, and you only get one. So that's what I would recommend before you go down the rabbit hole of all of the social media minutia. Are you really coming from your personal North Star?
So basically breaking it down, what do you want to be known for, number one? What is your legacy? How do you want people to remember you?
Yes.
Number two, what is your mission, right? What is your objective in life? What kind of value do you want to provide to the world? How do you want to serve? And what does that look like even in terms of relationship with a partner? Which brings us to the third step, is what is that man? Not just what he looks like or what he does, but what are his core values and lifelong goals?
Yes. One of the very first things that I did when I started Simply Be years ago is I actually did this exercise called defining your ICA, your ideal customer avatar, which was the very first thing that I did. I took this marketing school, and it was a questionnaire of about 5-6 pages long to imagine your ideal customer. Okay, who's the woman or man that you want to serve, right, from a professional standpoint. And it asks you, what's she look like? What color hair does she have? What does she do? What car does she drive? It was all of the things that to really visually paint the picture. But then the second half of the exercise was, what are her biggest fears? What keeps her up at night? What does she only tell her best friend? What gets her up inspired in the morning? And I created this fully fleshed out character. And do you want to know something crazy? I went off and launched my business with this ICA in mind. And I attracted 4 women right away to coach. I was doing business coaching at the time, who were 3 out of 4 of them were named Dana, and they all had brown hair. I was like, and they had you pick a picture from a Google image, someone random to be your customer avatar, and it works. Getting that deep and that clear on who it is that you want to attract, that's what it takes. And that worked for me from a business standpoint, and it can work for you from an emotional standpoint.
It's so key what you just said. What you focus on gets bigger, and it's so easy to get frustrated or bummed or sad about a dating situation and focus more on that.
The negative.
Right,
yeah.
the negative. But to stay optimistic, positive, and focused and clear on the type of man that you want to attract, look at how powerful that can be.
Yeah, like attracts like. It's science. It's called quantum mechanics, which is a whole other episode. But it is true. You have to be it in order to get it. You have to be it first. And then once you're there, and even as you're working on there, because we're all works in progress, you can still put that out there and express that journey and be authentic. And that's what people will be attracted to.
So awesome. And I know that, this is really just the beginning, right? This is just kind of scratching the surface on personal brand, but you can go deep.
Yeah.
And you actually have a free resource that we're going to link to in the description of this video.
Yeah.
So if you want to share that with
Sure. So you can go to my agency page, which is simplybeagency.com. And I've written a 8-step ebook on the 8 essential steps to simply becoming your own personal brand. And it's very much a follow-up to everything that we talked about, setting that foundation, and then those are the next steps that you would take.
Awesome. So definitely check out that guide. And if you like this video, please do subscribe so you get notified of all upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for coming, Jessica.
Thank you so much for having me, Jason. This was so much fun.
Thank you. Take care.